Ladies and gentlemen, Gachagua has hinted that he'll be heading to the United States of America. And on this particular video here, I want to show you what is this new tactic. Why is it that he's planning to go to the United States of America? But before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mokwa Times, ladies and gentlemen, take a second or two to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. My number is always here for those who want to engage me, support the channel. That's the M-Pesa number, and I really want to thank you so much. Let me dive into the topic today. Ladies and gentlemen, Gachagua indicated that he's headed to the United States of America. I have to state it categorically that it is a nice move, and it's a political move. Now, first of all, we all know that he has been very active in the country, criticizing President William Ruto. He helped immensely end the abductions in the country. So, Gachagua has been key in the Kenyan opposition. And in fact, without Gachagua, all these other key opposition figures are not able to do anything. Some of them are actually gentlemen and women. And Gachagua is the only person who faces William Ruto head on, who tells him everything that he needs to hear, everything that Kenyans needs to know. So therefore, Gachagua is a man that is now at the center of the Kenyan politics, and every move he makes is politically significant. Now, what were the reasons as to why Gachagua decided to go to the United States of America? Number one in my list is these ambitions for president. Once you declare that you want to vie for president in this country, you must remember that there are Kenyans also outside the country who are very, very, very essential for the development of this country. And that is why Gachagua had to consider and have an engagement with them. There are so many of them, and most of them, to be specific, in the US and UK, Germany, are almost all of them from this area of cousins, that group of cousins. So regarding Gachagua going to the United States of America, it was a great sign that he has recognized these people in the diaspora and that he has to go and engage with them just like Matiang'i did. So we expect him to have meetings, to have various engagements, to have various interviews, just like he has been doing here locally. Number two, the people of the diaspora also want to hear from these people directly. They want to support them. So therefore, they need to be given audience in the sense that they also contribute huge amount of money to the development of this country. Another reason I feel that Gachagua went to the United States of America is the issue to do with finance. We know that locally might not source enough money to compete with President William Ruto on the ballot. He needs also to get more friends on board so that he can have more money to be able to compete with William Ruto if he's going to be the flag bearer of the opposition. So Gachagua knows Kenyans locally can contribute for him, but he also needs the people in diaspora who have a better ability as well to also support him financially. So his move to the United States of America is basically to enable him gain some support in terms of financial support, gain some support even voting, and solidify the base of cousins across the country. Also, I have also to say that we cannot rule it out that it can be a normal visit, that someone literally wants to visit family, friends, and stuff. The wife went recently, and the people who received her there were friends. And I feel strongly that if the man also goes, probably there's also a likelihood that he can be able to be having family there, friends who will probably want to engage with him. He has been very busy in the country, up and down, moving from one county to another, engaging from one interview to the other, talking to William Ruto here and there, mobilizing the mountain people and the entire coast and Ukambani people. That is significant. So when we see him going to the United States of America, he needs time with his family, he needs time with friends and stuff. Also, I can't also end this video without saying that this could be a tactic. One of them being to have some break from the local politics and probably have a rest a bit and try to go and engage on international level by engaging the people in diaspora. Locally, he has been talking right, left, and center. And probably, I personally felt like if we reach some point, people will be used to his talks, his words. Remember, when he brought up the one-term thing, it became like fire it spread like fire in short. And people were talking about one term in the entire country within some hours. That is what we are saying here. Gachagua is a political beast whom actually is going to take this country to another level of politics. But the fact is now, for him to be more relevant, for him to shine, he has to have a break from the local politics at some point. People can have breaks on various bases. If you remember, Raila Amolo Odinga went for 3 months in the US, Boston University, I think, for some studies, and then came back. After that, when he came back, Raila Amolo Odinga was stronger than before. So if Gachagua goes as well, it could be the same thing. But also locally here, he could have done another thing, that is keeping quiet, relaxing, and allowing Akina Malala to talk, and other people within the DCP movement. So in a nutshell, Rigathi Gachagua was doing a very simple thing, having a break from the local politics and probably go have engagement with people abroad so that when he comes back to the country, he sounds new. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to state it here categorically that recently, the Jubilee Party was now declared independent by the court, in that there is no more fighting over the Jubilee Party. And the party leader was declared to be Uhuru Kenyatta, the Secretary General was Jeremiah Kioni, and the party members are present. We saw Moses Kuria later on posting a photo of him and Uhuru Kenyatta in the Jubilee poster. To me, and I'm going to do an extensive video on that, I've only just held back a bit to just study the ground. I noticed that probably there is some ignition of some battle on that's going to come up in the mountain region. But some party battle, in that a battle that parties are trying to fight for supremacy within the mountain region. However, I feel strongly that the person who is active and is the party leader, that's the person who wins. And in this case, it is Rigathi Gachagua. But probably the Jubilee Party is determined to bring him down. So the fact is, as we speak today, Rigathi Gachagua left the country to simply observe the moves that are going to happen. Relax the push for the DCP party and wait and see what are the intentions of the Jubilee Party and what are the intentions of the leaders like Uhuru Kenyatta, so that when he comes, he knows where to hit and how to hit it. So these wrangles cannot just be mixed up. He could not just continue this plan and then from nowhere being attacked by Jubilee people. Like the way we saw one of the leaders from the Jubilee side literally going to a radio, actually was even working with Rigathi Gachagua, that is Ngunjiri Wambugu from Nyeri town, who literally decided, now I have to take on Rigathi Gachagua. So in a nutshell, we have to say that this was a simple plan to ensure that he is at least strategizing, observing the ground, and finally executing. Last but not least, I also want to state it here nicely, that Rigathi Gachagua is also an intelligent leader who likes listening and getting more information. So as we speak today, probably he wants more advice, he wants more directions, he wants more guidelines on various issues, so that at least when he comes back locally, he can be able to execute his politics to the latter and be able to have more support than it was expected. Last but not least, Rigathi Gachagua needs to mobilize. And those people in diaspora can mobilize locally. Do you know how? By simply calling, texting, and even having posters across social media, and also ensuring that at least the families back at home are aware of whom they should support. I don't know what's your take. See you in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching.